Welcome to the Explainer. Today we are jumping right into a massive one, a late-season championship clash between Watford and Wrexham that has got everything on the line.
Okay, so you might be thinking, it's just another game, right? No way. This is so much more than that. This is a battle with absolutely huge implications for the promotion playoffs, where, seriously, a single point can change a club's entire destiny.
And you've got to start with Wrexham, right? I mean, this whole Hollywood story, their incredible fairy tale run, it all comes down to moments exactly like this. They are fighting tooth and nail to stay in that promotion playoff spot. And a win here would be a giant leap towards making that dream a reality.
But then you've got Watford. For them, playing at home, the pressure is just immense. This is pretty much their last chance saloon. Anything less than a win, and those playoff dreams could just fizzle out. We're talking about a match where their whole season is basically riding on these 90 minutes.
And this table just lays it all out, doesn't it? Look at that. Wrexham clinging on to that coveted 6th spot with 60 points. But then you scan down and see Watford in 10th. They're right there. They're within striking distance at 52 points. But they have zero, and I mean zero, room for error. Every single point is critical from here on out.
All right, so with the stakes that high, let's really break it down. How do these two teams actually stack up against each other heading into this clash?
Well, when you look at their recent form, it's a bit of a mixed bag, really. Wrexham just bounced back from a couple of tough losses with a huge 2-0 derby win over Swansea. You know, that's got to feel good in the dressing room. Watford, on the other hand, has been kind of all over the place. 2 wins, 2 losses, and a draw. That inconsistency is what they need to shake.
Okay, now this is where it gets really interesting. It's a proper clash of strengths versus weaknesses. On one side, you've got Wrexham, who are absolute road warriors. They haven't lost an away game since December, but they're walking into the home of a Watford side that's been, well, pretty shaky at Vickers Road lately. It really begs the question, can Wrexham's confidence on the road totally rattle a team that's desperate for a result in front of their own anxious fans?
And if you're looking for clues in their last meeting, yeah, it was a nail-biter. A hard-fought, dramatic 2-2 draw, so you just know neither team is going into this taking the other one lightly. We could be in for another tight one.
All right, let's get into the nitty-gritty. Let's talk tactics, the manager's game plan. How is this thing actually going to be won or lost on the touchline?
So what we're probably going to see is a real chess match on the pitch. You've got Watford likely in a traditional 4-4-2, up against Wrexham's more fluid and dynamic 3-5-2 system. And the real battleground? It's going to be that midfield. Wrexham will try to use their extra man to just dominate the ball, while Watford is going to be looking to hit him hard on the counter, trying to find any space left behind those attacking wingbacks.
And a huge X factor for Wrexham is that tactical flexibility. I actually saw this great comment on the Wrexham subreddit where a fan pointed out that there's not a lot of tactical rigidity and that the team is good enough to change on the fly. You know, when fans are noticing that kind of smart, adaptable play, it tells you a lot about how Phil Parkinson manages his team, and that could be a huge advantage.
Okay, so we've talked about the teams, we've talked about the tactics, but what about the individuals? Who are the players that could really step up and decide this thing? Well, both clubs have guys who absolutely know where the back of the net is. For Wrexham, you've got the big man up top, Kiefer Moore, who's already bagged 11 goals this season. And on the other side, Watford will be relying on their top scorer, Luca Kiramgard, who's got 10 of his own.
But here's a name to keep a special eye on. Wrexham's Oliver Rathbone. Seriously, this guy has been on absolute fire away from home. 3 goals in his last 5 on the road. He could be the one to pop up with a moment of magic.
But, and there's always a but in football, both teams are missing some key players. Wrexham's without the suspended George Dobson, and that is a huge hole to fill in their midfield. Watford's injury list, though, is even longer. Jeremy Nagakia, Kwadwo Baha, Rocco Vada, all out. That really limits their options.
All right, so after all that, what's the final verdict? What do the predictions say? And how can you tune in to watch it all unfold?
Well, if you ask the experts, a lot of them are actually leaning toward the away team. Analyst Alan Johnson pointed to Wrexham's incredible form on the road, suggesting they have a fantastic chance to get a result. He even called them a good value wager, which is pretty high praise.
In fact, if you look at a bunch of different predictions, one scoreline just keeps popping up over and over. A tight 2-1 win for Wrexham.
So, if you want to see if they're right, you can catch all the action live. In the UK, it's going to be on Sky Sports. And if you're over in the US, you can find the game on Fubo.
And hey, if you happen to be traveling or running into one of those annoying location blocks, a VPN is your best friend. It's super simple, really. Just download one, connect to a server back in your home country, Clear your browser's cache so it updates your location, and then you can start streaming no problem.
So it all comes down to this. Will that Hollywood story for Wrexham get its blockbuster sequel in the promotion playoffs? A win here would be a massive, massive chapter in that story. But you can bet Watford will be fighting to write their own ending. Thanks for watching.